Right, so let's actually learn how to get useful metrics from our application. So let me go back to IntelliJ, and right here, what I'm going to do is after the info, and in fact, let me just leave it like that. So after the info, what I want to do is say show and then details. So basically this, oh, actually it's not that one. So I want to say show, and this is when you get the auto completion wrong. So it's the second one. So show details. And then here I'm going to say always. And remember, I said that the reason why it only exposes 2 endpoints is because of security. So here you can see when authorized. So for example, for testing environments or environments apart from production, you can always say, you can set it to always. And then maybe for production, you might say, for example, when authorized, for example. So here, let's say always because we are testing things. And what this now will give us is, so if I reload the application, there we go, application up and running. And now before, remember, localhost and then /80 and then actuator /health. If I reload this, check this out. So here we are getting now a bunch more information about our application state. So we can see the database. So the status is up. The database is H2 right here. So this is what we have configured. And we have disk space. So up. So that's the total. That's the free. That's the threshold. We have ping, refresh scope, so on and so forth. So this is more information now, right? And also we have the initial one, which was status up. So this is really nice. But what I want to do is go back to / and then actuator in here. And before, remember, we only had health and info right here, right? So if I reload now, this still gives us the same information. And that's because we need to enable more stuff. So here, let's go ahead and add another property. And I'm going to say management. So actually, let me just use some auto completion. So web.exposure and basically here. So we want to say include. So we have a bunch of, actually 3 of them. We can exclude, include, and then expose headers. But basically here, let's actually include all endpoints. So here you can actually have a list. So this is actually, let me just press, oh, actually, let me see if I get auto completion again. So you can see health, info, and basically we can actually include the ones that we want, right? But here, what I want to say is I want to include everything. If I reload, there we go, up and running. And let's actually check the logs and see whether we have useful information. So here, have a look. Before we had 2 exposed endpoints, now we have 15. So if I go back to my web browser and here, let's reload and check this out. So we have a bunch of information, right? So we have information about the beans. So if I click on it, you can see that we have the context. And in here, application, beans, have a look. So this is useful information. Look, our own bean, customer service right here. So we have pretty much all the beans that this application has. And if I go back to actuator, so let's actually expose, you see in health, info, we have env, and have a look, we have the port. So when we say localhost 8080, so we can actually change this, and this is under local server port. And then here, use customer repo, or actually fake customer repo. This is what we have set. And you can see some default configuration there and a bunch more. So this is really nice. So if I scroll down, we can see the heap dump metrics. So this is an interesting one. So if I click on it, you can see all the names. And if I collapse this, so basically these are the metric names, right? So Ikari connection, and that means that, so here I can basically use that name and then access the metric, right? So we have scheduled tasks and features. So you can see that this is really useful information that we can use. It would be nice if we could take all of this and then use it, for example, with Grafana, right? And this is exactly what Micrometer allows us to do.